All right, so this was the first order of operations with integer exponents problems. So remembering that order of operations begins with parentheses, the P, we're gonna simplify what is inside our parentheses first. So 2 plus 2 is 4, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So far, so good. So what this expression is telling us is that 4 to the negative second power plus 2 to the negative fourth power. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to clean up these exponents. So 4 to the negative second power, anything to a negative exponent is going to be a value over 1. A 1 over, excuse me. And then 4 to the negative second power is going to be 1 over 4 to the second power. 2 to the negative fourth power is going to be 1 over 2 to the fourth power. And again, we're going to add these together. So we need to then clean this up even further. So 1 over 4 times 4 is 16 plus 2 to the fourth power. So I'm going to write it out over here. When in doubt, you can always write it out. So 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so we've got 4 times 4, 16. Hey, look, okay, we're going to add these fractions together. They have a common denominator. So we get 2/16, but I think a lot of people forgot. Simplest form, BBs. We got to write this in simplest form. So you can actually divide the numerator and the denominator by 2. So your final answer for this problem is 1/8. All right, let's move on to this next one right here. Woo, shaky cam. All right, here we go. Hopefully it's going to cooperate. All right, so there's no parentheses, so we're just going to start by cleaning up the exponents. So 4 to the third power, again, I can write this out because I want to make absolutely sure that I'm doing this correctly. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4 is 64. Okay, so this value is 64 times 2 to the negative second power. So I know that this is going to be 1 over 2 to the second power, and I'm not going to forget about this little guy over here. So 10 plus 64 times 1 over 2 to the second power. Well, we got to clean this up. 1 over 2 times 2 is 1/4. So I have 10 plus 64 times 1/4. So now I need to clean up this multiplication. I posted a video about how to multiply whole numbers times fractions. Here's what we do. This ring a bell. We're going to turn that whole number into a fraction. And so now if I rewrite it over here, just to show you, I have 64 over 1 times 1/4. And you can cross simplify. Both of these can be divided by 4. And 4 goes into 64 16 times. So this becomes 10 plus 16. And 10 plus 16, because remember, 16 is what we got when we took 64 times 1/4. That's 16. So 10 plus 16. So the answer to this one is 26. All right, 2 more. All right, so this one is just all exponents, cleaning up these exponents. So I'll go from left to right. So 6 times 6 is 36 minus 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 to the negative 1 power. Well, think about that. 1 to the negative power, 1 to the negative 1 power looks just like this. Well, 1 over 1, that's just 1. So this expression says 36 minus 9 plus 1. So remember, we're going to go from left to right. 36 minus 9 is 27, and 27 plus 1 is 28. Ta-da! Okay, so we've got our last problem right here. If you look inside the parentheses just has a value with an exponent. So we can just clean up our exponents right here. Let's start with 2 to the negative third power. So that's 1 over 2 to the third power. So remembering that we need to clean that up even more, That's 1 over, remember, that's 2 times 2 times 2. That's not 6. I repeat, it's not 6. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So this value becomes 1/8. All right, I got to drop all this business down so don't forget about it. So 2 minus 1/8 times, 5 to the 0 power is just 1. Okay, so my multiplication comes next. 1/8 times 1, anything multiplied by 1 is going to stay the same. And since I just ran out of room, boop, 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 we're going to move over here. Gosh, shaky cam. All right, so I'm going to finish this over here. 2 minus 1/8 is what we're left with. So again, I posted another video reminding people how to do operations like this. I like to use the stack method like this. Boop, 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 boop. And what we do is we borrow. So I'm going to borrow from the 2. That becomes a 1. And then I'm going to make the one that I borrowed 8 over 8 because I want to use the same denominator. I'm going to use the same denominator that I used here. So 8 minus 1 is 7. So I have 7/8 as my fraction, and then I have 1. So the answer to that very last PEMDAS problem is 1 and 7/8. Whew.